Hey y'all, hey, what's up? It is tea time with your girl TG the LPC, and that is right, it is Transformation Tuesday, quite possibly our last Transformation Tuesday, but it is definitely our last Transformation Tuesday of the month. So, today we are going to be talking about rewriting your story. You are not what hurt you. Also, you're not what you did, right? So, in counseling, we have a theory called narrative therapy. And narrative therapy typically has you go back and rewrite your story. So oftentimes we tell our story and we tell it, if it's a hurtful story, we tell it in a negative way. All of the negative things that have happened to us, the things that have hurt us, so on and so forth. And then that begins to shape who we are and what we do. So if I had a situation of abuse or neglect or something of that nature, I may tell that story and that will shape who I am today. So I might respond to people in a negative way or a standoffish way or mistrusting and things of that nature. And that is definitely understandable. But our goal is to rewrite our story so that we can say, okay, those things may have happened, but they are not who we are. Even if I did something negative, right? That is what I did, but that is not who I am. Now, if we keep doing something over and over and over again, then that may become who we are. But what I want to challenge you to do today is think about your story, the good, the bad, the ugly. And as you're thinking about your story, I want you to think, how can I retell this story or reframe this story? So, yes, I might be telling the negative parts of it, but I'm also talking about the healing parts of it, the thing that got me to where I am. For example, my very first video that I did, I was just kind of playing around and I was doing a video. It was I believe it was right after I graduated college, or it could have been as I was graduating. It's on my YouTube page, very first video, but I began to talk about the things that people said to me. You're stupid, you're ugly, you're never gonna be anything. Nobody's ever gonna want you, so on and so forth. There's so many negative things that I can remember people saying to me because of my situation at the time. And I began to lean into that. I began to allow that to be true and allow that to be who I was, to where I refused to go to school because I was afraid, because I wasn't smart enough. I was never going to get a degree. I was never going to get married. I was never going to be anything special to anyone, because that's what I was told for so long. Until one day, I was able to interact with some people that helped me along the way, and I began to retell my story. And once I begin to retell my story and say, those things are not true about me, regardless of what they thought, regardless of what they did, that's not who I am. And then I begin to utilize that for fuel. So I utilize that anger and that frustration and that hurt, that bitterness, that resentment, whatever it was, fill in the blank for you. I utilize that to push me a little bit further. And so what I did was I began to go to school. I began to work on my healing journey. I began to look at myself, so on and so forth, so that I could level up and be who I knew I was called to be. And I believe that that is why I am where I am today, but it's also why I'm so passionate about it. I'm so passionate about helping people rewrite their stories. And I'm so passionate about letting people know that you are not what hurt you. You are not the things that you did in the past. Let's recreate those narratives and let's use them to build us up, to give us fuel to do the things that we were called to do. So I'm challenging you today to rewrite your story. Think about your story. You do not have to share it or anything like that, because I know that that could be very personal to us. Our stories, sometimes they're hurtful, sometimes they can be embarrassing, but I'm challenging you to not be embarrassed by your story, but utilize it as a testimony. Utilize it for fuel for you and for someone else, because you never know who your story can help. So I hope that you guys have an amazing Transformation Tuesday, our last Transformation Tuesday. Share your thoughts. Anything that you want to share with us, share with us. Let us know what day you want us to keep. Is it Motivational Monday, Transformational Tuesday, Wisdom Wednesday, Thoughtful Thursday, Feel Good Friday, Shout Out Saturday, or Self Care Sunday? Let us know in the comments. TG out.